Alright guys, welcome back to some more Mnesist memories. So last episode of Remember Me, I'm pretty sure I got every single one. This is the first one we got. I think the first one we got was Remembering, then we got The Leapers Appear. I guess we didn't get anything there. Okay, so I guess we missed one. And then we got the first Sensen prototype and Kaori Sheridan. And Kid Christmas actually. So we got quite a few to go through. So let's start off in Neo Paris. Regulation of firearms we went through last time. We're going to read about the Leapers Appear. So this is all about the history and how things kind of happen. So the Leapers Appear 2073. I actually don't know what year it is right. I forgot. I think it's 2084. So these guys appeared about 10 years ago or something like that. Okay, let's go through it. So this contribution was considered biased by the majority of viewers. Okay, so this was maybe kind of edited by the memorized or something like that. Okay, so here we go. The first documented sightings of leapers dated from 2073. Several theories emerged down the years to explain the origin of their mutation: pollution, biological warfare, genetic accident, radiation, etc. But none of these were officially accepted to explain their existence. What a load of crap. The authorities insisted they were hiding in the darkest and most dangerous areas of cities and used this argument to justify their policy of repression. But they were looking at the problem from the wrong angle. Leapers didn't appear in the poorer districts, nor were they the result of appalling sanitary conditions. Leapers went to those dangerous areas because they had nowhere else to go. Every inhabitant of Neo Paris had heard of a neighbor, friend, or colleague who had started showing signs of leaperization before disappearing altogether. This illness clearly spread in a way that was still not understood, and the filth was moving everywhere, even to the wealthy districts. The epidemic was raging. Wake up, Neo Paris. So we saw in episode 2, Olga Sadova's memory of treating David, and he started to turn into a leaper there with the treatment. So I think there's something wrong with the Sensen, and people are trying to hide it because also in the first memorial incident here, this was a big problem. Like something big happened where there was an estimated 190,000 citizens were contaminated by pathological memories. The local authorities implemented an emergency wiping procedure which was supposed to have cured 97% of the victims. So I think this kind of ties in with the first appearance of the Leapers. When was the first memory incident? Towards the end of the 2070s. Hold on, let me check here. I'm trying to figure out when this was because I'm thinking maybe after this happened, those memories kind of spread and they're what caused the Leapers. So I don't really know. Of this policy, like they don't really say when. Okay, I don't think it says when in there, but yeah. So I'm thinking that's kind of what happened there. Okay, now we got Neo Paris landmarks. We didn't get anything new there, so we missed one. Memorizing the Sensen, the first Sensen prototype. All right, here we go. In 2059, Charles Cartier-Wells experimented at Memorize with the next generation direct neural interface prototype, the Sensation Engine, or Sensen. In spring 2059, the research team headed by Charles Cartier-Wells, son of the founder of Memorize, carried out a successful experiment with a thought-sharing prototype comprising 3 vital technological upgrades. Connection by implant, so there's no computer, a network of 20 directly connected individuals that could transmit, receive, and share their sensations directly, the possibility of personalizing or receiving mental perceptions. This experiment device was dubbed by its creators the Sensation Engine, or Sensen. Although still in its experimental stage, the Sensen already offered significant advantages. The implant gave the user total autonomy. He could be mobile and permanently wired. The chip contained algorithms allowing transmission in network mode with no saturation or loss of signal. Plugging the chip directly into spinal cord tissue increased the speed, quality, and power of the neural interface. People could therefore use the Sensen to customize their perceptions and adjust their own settings to remodel the sensations and information received by the brain in real time. Later, more sophisticated versions of the Sensen would even develop this personalization feature based on the user's behavior, allowing the features of the Sensen and the wearer's personality to morph in harmony, even if the wearer had not actively operated the personalization function. Launched commercially in 2060, the Sensen was received enthusiastically by loyal clients of Memorize, but it would be a few years before the digitization of the human memory would become a real social phenomenon. Okay, so the first ever Sensen, 2059. Wow. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Wait a second. Yeah, it doesn't say when. So here it says this happened in 2059. Doesn't say when this happened in the title. Okay, well that's all about the Sensens. That's kind of what it does. That's how it started, and it's evolved since then. And so, I guess we'll learn more about that with some more of the Mnesists. Okay, Nero Paris VIPs. Okay, so Kaori. So let's go through Kid Christmas first. Okay, so ex-criminal turned bounty hunter, Kid Christmas is one of the most popular celebrities in Neo Paris. In a few years, the former memory hunter, who illegally broadcasts his shows for wannabe mem hunters, has built a financial empire to promote his own image. Born in Bologna? I'm sorry, I'm going to say it Bologna. In Paris suburbs to parents who fled the North European community during the 40 to 47 Civil War, young Ulf Hansen grew up in the ghettos designated for climate refugees. Intelligent and ambitious, he demonstrated a real talent for memory hacking and memorial theft in his early teens. He started his career as a small-time thief and proceeded to set the standards of hacking in the closed community of memory hunters. He became a striking figure in the select club under the alias Kid Christmas, and soon established his trademark style as he promoted his spectacular thefts in the media via free broadcasting on underground social networks. Fueled by his super status as a young prodigy of memo crime, and to the great delight of his fans, Kid competed in a series of contests against other memory hunters in live broadcasts filmed by cameras that Kid himself had programmed to follow his every move. The viewing figures for his Christmas show continued to rise over the years until the entertainment channel, Mem Intact, offered him an exclusive contract to air his exploits. In return, the Kid promised to only fight criminals and people wanted by the authorities. Since then, the young refugee from Bologna has launched his own clothing brand, recorded 2 albums, and set up a drop-in and rehabilitation center providing sports for disadvantaged youths. Kid Christmas has managed to move effortlessly into the mainstream without damaging his reputation as a pirate and bad boy, and has morphed into an entrepreneur and a showman. His critics say he rarely picks fights with memory hunters now because he's frightened of betraying his lack of form, but he just smirks, reminding them that he remains unbeaten in one-on-one combat and rarely fights opponents now because they're all locked up in Lava Steel Fortress, thanks to him. Change today, boys. Alright, so that's Kid Christmas, and now we can go to Kaori Sheridan. Okay, an architect, so she is... Okay, so she's not... Wait, let me see. Yeah, so she's not nearly as popular as Kid Christmas. So you can see here, Kid Christmas has 586,000 hits. Kaori Sheridan has about 20,000. So, not nearly as popular. But, let's go read about her nonetheless. An architect of international renown, Kaori Sheridan is responsible for Phoenix, a massive reconstruction progress for near Paris, a city badly damaged by the catastrophes and clashes it suffered during the 21st century. Born in 2046 in Osaka, Kaori Sheridan soon established herself as one of the greatest architects of her time. Right from her early work, she set out her vision of a global urban architecture that would not sacrifice aesthetic considerations. When rebuilding cities and megacities where whole districts had been devastated by civil wars and catastrophes during the first half of the 21st century, she retained the traditional architecture wherever possible, whereas most of her competitors favored a more pragmatic approach based on emergency reconstruction. Invited by the Neo Paris authorities to design a comprehensive reconstruction program for the city, Kaori Sheridan conceived the Phoenix project to be implemented for over 30 years. To be implemented over 30 years. Her emphasis on the long term attracted criticism from many refugee associations, who accused her of systematically prioritizing wealthier districts while the ghettos and insalubrious pockets. I guess that means just that, like lower tier pockets, I guess, like the notorious Slum 404 remain areas designated for the final phases of the program. This is a mock trial, said Sheridan in an interview on July 27th, 2084, on the Perky Maggie show. Yeah, I've never favored the more beautiful districts. They are beautiful because I rebuilt them. Wow. Okay, that's pretty cocky, I guess is the word. Okay, so she actually came up with the plan. So she kind of didn't focus on the areas that needed help. and she didn't focus on like the necessities. Instead, she's going more for comfort. Kid Christmas, though, his story is a little more interesting because he said, or inside this, it said that Kid Christmas was actually not like a bad guy. He started off as a thief, and then he turned into this kind of celebrity, and he used his powers for like quote unquote good. So I don't know, Kid Christmas, I guess, but then I guess he got cocky and whatnot. So yeah, fair enough. Okay, and then technology, remembrane. Okay, so this is what we were using to go through the Saint Michel Comfortress. We were using bad request remembrane. So let's go and figure out what these are. So the remembrane is a technique used for the virtual projection of a digitized fragment of a memory using augmented reality. The memory is played at the same speed and scale in situ. I don't know, in real life or something? I don't know. Remembering technology was first developed by the Saber Force to reconstruct certain crime scenes by tapping into the memory of witnesses or suspects. The digital memory is converted into images projected directly into the user's Sensen in the form of a 3D reconstruction event, which is then played in front of their eyes. It was during the Gansberg affair, the famous sculptor and his family were murdered in their residence in the New Belleville Comfortress, that research began into the virtual projection of a memory. On the decision of the prosecutor, and despite public protests from relatives and many religious leaders, the digitized memory of the 4 victims was input into the Sensen to copy their last memories. Investigators in the case carried out a manipulated projection of the last moments of each victim in the house, and were able to determine that the mother killed her children and husband before killing herself. Spurred on by this success, the criminal division of Saberforce decided to implement this technique systematically and developed the protocol that became known as the remembrane. The latest version of this program can now reproduce sound. Well, yeah, okay. That's what we saw in our last episode. Cases of the illegal use of remembranes have been reported outside the scope of judicial investigation, but have never been substantiated or confirmed by an independent source. Yeah, so cases of illegal use of remembranes. So that would be what we did, actually. So kind of cool. So if it's a technique. Okay, so I guess anyone can do this. You just have to know how. All right, so that's gonna be our little Mnesist memories. So we learned a lot today. We learned, the leapers appear. So that's I think this is speculation, but I think it's a result of the first memorial accident that kind of lingered, and kind of crept into everyone's memories and became leapers. Neo-Paris landmarks. We didn't learn anything about those. We learned about Kid Christmas and Kaori Sheridan, and finally about how the remembering works. So thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this, go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to see more of these, I post these every Tuesday. You can go ahead and subscribe to my channel, then you'll get notifications about when they happen. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.